This is football prime time. I messed that up. I'm your host, Sam Wu, coming to you live from Chickies and Pete's, South Philadelphia. Little hockey game going on right here. A little scheduling conflict, not a problem. We don't take any days off here. Nope. Football prime time. We just find random days to do it, but that's okay. I'm your host, Sam Wu, here with Billy Dean and AJ, talking a little football. I guess the Eagles, are they undefeated?
Eagles are undefeated, yes. And Sam, I just got to say, your setup there is awesome. Chicken Pete's, great job down there. Obviously, Sam puts on a tremendous, look at his setup. It's fantastic. And, Sam, legit Super Bowl contender, one of the teams that you got to be nervous about. You would think that team is the Bills and the Chiefs, but the Eagles have supplanted themselves pretty much as that same kind of team, a team that you don't want to go up against, and a team that obviously has the firepower on offense. Jalen Hurts, quarterback. You got your wide receivers, but then, your running game is doing okay, and your defense has been all over the place, and that helps you win your games and win championships. So Eagles looking pretty good.
I'd
agree.
Who have they played, though? Who have they played? Seriously. They haven't played elite teams. When you look at the schedule, not that the Giants are any better, but I think they had a harder schedule so far than the Eagles. And, I'll make the argument to say that they haven't been challenged yet. Not saying they're not a good football team. Matter of fact, on Football Primetime, I picked the Eagles to win the division. So, and I'm not even an Eagles fan. I'm just being
I will say,
first.
I think the Vikings that they played against, obviously, was a good test for them. And I think the Jaguars are also another sneaky team that are contenders. Cardinals are a little bit of a toss-up. I feel like could go either way. Another decent team, fringe bubble team. So I think the two that you have to give that are like close, or the games that they should have either blown out or beat teams easily would have been the Vikings and the Commanders, which the Commanders they did. The Lions
and the Commanders. Lions, if you look at them, the Lions are top 5 in scoring this whole season. They've been awesome on offense. Their defense has been hot garbage other than last week. Vikings, like you said, AJ, very competitive team. They have some horses that are, Justin Jefferson is ridiculous. But, Commanders, okay, they have a, decent offense. They didn't really score much, against the Eagles that third game of the season. The Jaguars, despite, Trevor Lawrence having a really crappy game, they were competitive, 29-21, only 8 points, which a lot of teams thought that would, maybe be a little more lopsided. And then the Cardinals are always sneaky. They go out to that big lead, and then, Eagles came back. And that's the thing about the Eagles. They've came back. They've won games where it's not just Jalen Hurts running in for scores. It's everybody getting involved. It's the offense. It's the defense. It's special teams. So that's why I really like them. And then this week, you're going to get a tough Cowboys defense. And this, obviously, the offense with Cooper Rush isn't the best, but you'll see right now how this offense can do against a very good defense. And that's exactly what the Cowboys are. So that's one of the games of the week, obviously. Looking quickly around the rest of the league, and, this past week was exciting. We had some really good games. We had some clunkers as well. That Thursday night was god-awful. The Vegas-Kansas City. Vegas goes up to a big lead, and then Kansas City comes back. And that's one of those games you just saw Kansas City getting that win. Patrick Mahomes is a beast. Goddamn Travis Kelce, 4 touchdowns.
Insane.
Bonkers.
Insane. Only like what?
Tight ends this week. Yeah, really. Tight ends this week, though. Four for him, 4 for Taysom Hill. Tight ends going off. The Green Bay New York game in London was a very good game. Pittsburgh Buffalo was a blowout. Pittsburgh just sucks. And for those that are big Najee Harris fans, he's hurting right now. Even in fantasy, that sucks. The LA Cleveland game was good. LA finally gets that comeback win. Minnesota, made a little closer to Chicago than needed to. New England, Ramondre Stevenson
blowout.
And Detroit offense just didn't show up. New Orleans showing that they can score with anybody, especially when it's against Seattle. And then, the rest of the week, Tampa had a scare against Atlanta. Atlanta's covered all 5 games this season. So if you're looking for a bet, Atlanta's good to cover.
I feel like that was like last year too, where they were, I feel like, covering
sneaky.
Games. They're making it close.
Yeah, sneaky. That Houston-Jacksonville game was absolutely awful. I got a little visitor here. Houston-Jacksonville was absolutely awful. San Fran just spanked Carolina, and goodbye to Matt Reich. Matt Rule, sorry, Reich. Dallas, LA Rams are in trouble. They're not looking so hot, and that run game's bad. Other than Cooper Kupp, that's all they have. We talked about Philly. Cincinnati, Baltimore was a really good game, competitive. The defenses were all over each other. You figured that'd be a little more offensive. And then lastly, that Jet game, Jets 40, Miami 17, and the Jets, baby, Breece Hall. I've been pretty, and it wasn't Zach Wilson, so I can't really give him credit. He played. He managed the game well, and that's all he needed to do. Because Breece Hall, 197 total yards, the touchdown. I was there in person. He was electrifying, running down the sidelines, getting big chunks all the time, and definitely something that is it's good to see. Yep. Hey, come on. We're talking football. You got to have fun. Definitely something with. But definitely something with the Jets where if they could continue to get that run game going, they're going to be very exciting and a team that, is going to be tough to face, especially when you have the quarterback that you're hoping could take the step. You got Garrett Wilson, a good wide receiver. You got some other Elijah Moore, some other guys. Come on. You got some other guys in Elijah Moore in them that, can definitely be competitive and take the tops off of defense. Corey Davis has been really good. It's been really exciting to be a Jet fan, and something in the first 2 weeks of the season that I was not, thinking that was going to be the case.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think they're finding their stride, right? They're second in this division right now, obviously with the win over Miami, and behind Buffalo. It's great seeing them utilize Hall the way that they're utilizing him. And even Michael Carter, right? They're throwing both of them in as that tandem, which is what we thought with Hall more leading that backfield.
Yep.
I think both backs have looked, really good in both their passing and run games. Been very complimentary. I still want to see a little bit more of Elijah Moore. I feel like he's been kind of in, the wind a little bit here and there. It's great seeing Garrett Wilson, obviously, Tyler Conklin, Uzama, and Corey Davis, right, who was our big signing 2 years ago now, right?
Yeah, 2 years.
So, I mean, it's good seeing, him get in the mix and all that. It was a good dominant win, I would say, over Miami. I know they didn't have Tua in, but they still have, Tyreek Hill. They still have, Mostert when he gets going. Mostert's a fantastic running back. And I mean, he put up 113 yards on the Jets. So, him, Waddle. I think they have a great offense. And I know it was a win against a third string quarterback, but I still think somebody that is competent enough and everything like that.
Yeah, Raheem Mostert, obviously a great job. I'm getting bombarded over here. Obviously a great job, Raheem Mostert coming back from the knee injury. And, he's obviously someone that, at 31, 32 coming back from an ACL, that's tough. But good on him, obviously, to come in and do what he did against the Jets. And he's looking very, I thought Chase Edmonds would be the leader in that backfield, and they kind of turned the other way. But, we look at the rest of the games and, like we said, it was a good week. And, this week, not so much today's game, although I do think that, people will be a little more surprised by the scores you probably see with Chicago and the Commanders.
So apparently Carson Wentz is 6-0 in prime time, has like 15 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, over 1,000 yards passing. Like he's
Carson
dominant.
Wentz?
Yeah, he's dominant in Thursday night games, which is insane. So I'm hoping for some of that magic tonight. Just having him on my fantasy team. I want to have a high-scoring game unlike the past, few Thursday night games, which have been terrible. But yeah, fun little stat for you.
Yeah, I like that. That's a pretty good one. All right, week 6 coming up, and we'll obviously it's right about a quarter of the way through the season, 17 games. So week 4 to week 6. With week 5, it's in between that. So we're gonna go over some leaders in the clubhouse, and maybe our some thinking about a reversal of what maybe we think for the championship. I am still. I mean, I had the Eagles, but Chargers, looking a little shaky. We'll see how obviously the injuries shape up. All right, this week we talked about Thursday game, Sunday. San Fran, Atlanta. You could expect Atlanta to keep it competitive, but San Fran's the beast there. New England, Cleveland, battle the running backs. Ramondre Stevenson, Nick Chubb. It's going to be Bailey Zappi versus Jacoby Brissett. It's an all-time quarterback matchup.
Yeah, one for the ages.
Yeah, one for the ages. Cleveland's looking decent without a quarterback, really. I mean, Brissett's just good enough to get some wins. But, when Deshaun Watson comes back, this team is going to be scary. And Amari Cooper is right there. Their defense is getting better. So that's definitely going to be interesting how that happens and works out. Jets at Green Bay. I'm expecting the Jets to come a little bit back down to earth. They're not going to be scored 40 points. I can't even remember the last time they scored 40 points was, but I still think they can get the win in Green Bay, especially if they get the run game going. Green Bay is not very good against the run. And if they can get those guys cranking and do some play action off that and get Jeff and get Wilson going, maybe they can squeak one out in the frozen tundra.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. I think if that defense can put pressure on Rodgers and kind of bring it like they did against the past couple of games, I think they have a chance of winning. Against Rodgers and in Lambeau. I mean, it's gonna be a tough call. To be close, but I want to put it past them. Squeak one out.
All right, AJ, why don't you chat a little bit of the Giants?
The G-men, right? Playing the Ravens, 4-1 start. I mean, I think the Giants have had a great start. It's been collectively a team effort, right? Winning. I mean, Barkley's been insane this year, but
he's been really good.
I still fear the Ravens. Lamar. I know he can be up and down for fantasy wise and all that stuff, but I mean, he's a guy that when he gets his legs going and everything like that, and he's feeding the ball to Mark Andrews. I mean, it's a dangerous team, and I can't not bet against the Ravens.
Yeah, I mean, Lamar coming off a game last week where you were expecting them to kind of score a little more points, and Lamar didn't have the best of games against the Bengals. That off the loss to the Bills, the Patriots had a good game, but then losing the Dolphins. Lamar needs to get this team back on track. He needs to get the offense back on track, and I think they do it against the Giants. Daniel Jones has been good enough to get these teams wins against bad quarterbacks and bad teams on the other side. I can't see them doing it this week. And, I know that Saquon's been really good and, their wide receivers have been competitive and their coach is making all the right calls and all the right, he's doing everything a rookie coach shouldn't do, right? You look at, Nathaniel Hackett, who's continually having issues with timeouts or personnel issues or, just getting his offense going. Dable's taking a quarterback that's injured, in Daniel Jones and a running back that, has had some issues the last 2 years, and he's churning out a competitive offense. The defense is opportunistic. They make great reads on a lot of plays, taking away, deep ball and very competitive with turnovers. I think it's competitive, and I think the Giants can do just enough to kind of keep them in it for the first 2 quarters, first half, 3 quarters. I just think that the Ravens are too good.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's similar to the Jets, right? Both teams I think are playing right now above what is expected of them, right? This time of the season, and I think it's going against both teams that they are, in the Ravens and the Packers, and I think it's again obviously an uphill battle. There's chances where they could squeak it out.
Yep.
It's not looking good for New York teams this week, I think.
Yeah, Jets have obviously a little better of a chance at Green Bay just because of the weapons that Rodgers, he's still working out Dobbs and, a couple other guys, but Lazard's, effective and the running game is there. But I think that offense can do some damage against the Green Bay defense, especially in the ground. And then Green Bay, obviously, in London didn't play all that well, and you're hoping there's a little jet lag.
Yeah.
They also, them and the Giants both nominated not to have their byes after the London games. So this week, byes Detroit, Tennessee, Vegas, Houston. They actually made that a couple years ago where you didn't have to directly take your bye after the London game. The Jets, obviously, like I said, have a better chance. Giants, I think it's going to be an uphill battle. Look at the rest of the slate for this week, and then we'll get into some stat stuff. Jacksonville at Indy, you're looking for Jacksonville to take the next step. Especially after a couple of tough losses. Minnesota at Miami. That's a very intriguing game to me, especially if Teddy Bridgewater does play. It sounds like they're going to do Skylar Thompson, but I'm sure if McDaniel sees Skylar practicing, he might not exactly be keen to that. He did not look good, Skylar Thompson. I was at that first half. He was terrible. He made some plays to kind of let them in it, but it was basically the run game they were feeding off of.
Yeah.
He's a rookie. He's a late round pick. It's a tough job for any team to come in, or any quarterback to come in and on a road game and try to get a W and play well. But especially as a rookie, that's tough. I read somewhere that. And this is going back to rookies with Bailey Zappi in New England, that Bill Belichick is 5-0 with rookie quarterbacks making their first start in the league. He's 5-0.
I feel like I can see that.
The next time there's a rookie quarterback on Bill Belichick's squad, definitely take the bet. So a crazy stat. But Minnesota, Miami, I think Minnesota, and we'll see what Miami does, because if they drop another game, they're already sitting second with the Jets. I could see them taking a turn and really trying to force Tua into this, although, maybe he does come back next week. But that's a tough spot. And I think that Minnesota's playing well enough that they can get this one on the road. Anything on Minnesota, Miami?
Yeah, I think for the Dolphins to even have a chance to win, they got to come up with some kind of scheme, right, to get the ball into their playmakers, not just Mostert in the run game, right? But Tyreek Hill, Waddle, do those quick passes, those quick slants to Hill, let him run in space. Every once in a while, throw that long ball to Waddle, see if he can.
And Hill is hurt, so that's another thing to watch.
Yeah, I'm surprised the line right now that I'm looking at is only Minnesota 3.5, or Minnesota by 3.
Minnesota 3.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised by that. I think it'd be a little bit more, leaning towards them.
They're obviously playing to the home crowd and the defense, Miami, but yeah.
But
Cincinnati at New Orleans, tough matchup for the Bengals. New Orleans defense is legit, from running the ball to cover corners. Marshawn Lattimore is one of the best. I do expect him to kind of shadow Jamar Chase, and maybe this is a game where T. Higgins and Tyler Boyd can get into it a little bit. I do think Cincinnati gets the win at New Orleans. It's going to be, it'll be a fun game. New Orleans always plays competitive and tough, and we'll see how much Taysom Hill gets involved in this game.
Yeah, it's nice seeing Olave, get going a little bit more.
Yeah.
With his young career.
Scary hit last week.
Yeah.
Falls on his head.
That was a bad one. Because that was in the end zone, right? If I remember correctly.
Yeah, in the end zone. Yeah, I can't believe he controlled that catch. He's unconscious and still held on the ball. Quickly, and I know that this has been a big topic, and it's been roughing the passer, especially on quarterback hits. It just, bad ones. Everyone's asking about, should there be replay, and that's the stupidest thing, to replay a judgment call, because no one's going to be right on that one. But it's got to go back to either you don't touch the quarterback at all and it's 2 hands and that's a sack, or you let them play, because a lot of these times it has not been full body weight on these quarterbacks. The one call, and I talked about it last week, the Josh Allen, where the guy taps him, he falls back, and he looks at the ref, throws up his arms, and then the ref throws a flag, is crazy and asinine and ridiculous.
I think the worst one was the Tom Brady one. The Tom Brady one was way worse.
Yeah,
I don't get where at all you call
Chris Jones, right?
Roughing the passer. I don't get where you call it. I I wouldn't mind if like a coach had a challenge specifically for a penalty, something like that, right? So they could use it on a pass interference. They could use it on a roughing the passer, something like that. I wouldn't mind
maybe
utilizing that just because then, yeah, you can maybe, after replaying it, see, all right, that actually wasn't a penalty, kind of thing.
Yeah.
I think that helps a little bit because, yeah, some of these calls that have been taking place have been just horrendous, and it really kills the game. I think it also happened in the Chiefs Raiders game where
Raiders,
the Chiefs, got him on third down and they called roughing the passer, and I was like, what? Like, where are you calling it? On Derek Carr. So it's rough. It's rough.
Okay. So quickly, we'll get to the remaining slate. Tampa at Pittsburgh. Tampa's run defense is going to slobber, just destroy Pittsburgh. Carolina at the Rams. Rams, thank God for a get-right game because this is it. They needed this one big time. If we look at the remaining, Arizona at Seattle, it's time for Arizona to get their offense back on track, see if they can, get this offense going against a Seattle defense that's just atrocious. And still, Geno Smith is slinging the ball around like he's Russell Wilson. I still don't think Geno's legit, and clearly the play calling is going absolutely perfect for Seattle. But you got to give him credit; he's playing well. And Seattle, I mean, it really is a big FU to Russell Wilson. So it's just hysterical to me.
He's playing out of his mind, which is crazy to see.
It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. Buffalo at Kansas City, the big game of the week, the 425 slate. We'll see if that actually that might be its only game for a little while because they're talking about the Arizona-Seattle game maybe pushing back to 5 due to the Seattle Mariner game. Yeah. But Buffalo at KC, last time this happened, you're looking at the playoff game last year where it was just a barn burner and one of the best games of all time. I do expect Buffalo to exact some revenge in the regular season. Listen, it's the regular season. I'm sure Mahomes couldn't give a crap. He got him on last year, but it's going to be fun. It's going to be a shootout. You're going to see ultimate offense, and I can't wait to watch it. Right? It's 425. You got to park your butt in the seats and just enjoy because it's going to be so much fun.
I say you almost wish that this was the night game, right?
Yeah.
Or if they could have 2 primetime games, right? One start at 6 or 7. That'd be great. Just having this game by itself, is going to be fantastic.
Listen, I like seeing my team in primetime, right? It's fun to see the Jets in Sunday Night Football or Thursday night or Monday night, but Don't give me the shitty matchups. Just give me the best teams. And if it's Mahomes 6-7 times a year, 8 times, 9 times, if it's all 16 games or 17 games, I'm good with that. And as a fan, you have to you want to see the best. So put Mahomes and put Rodgers and put Baltimore and put Cincinnati and put Buffalo. Put the good teams. Heck, I'll even watch Tampa because they are so much fun to watch. Don't give me Cleveland and Jacksonville. Not until these guys are good. Miami, even Miami. I don't need to see Miami right now. They're not those kind of teams. Give me the best there is. You don't have to match them against all the other great teams. Match them against some okay teams, but give me the best players so I can watch them.
Yeah. I mean, again, tonight, right? Bears and Commanders. I mean, that's gonna be
it's so bad.
Hopefully it's gonna be a high scoring game, right? But it's not the teams that you want to watch. Same thing with last week. With the Broncos and with the Colts, right? Both teams are garbage right now. Obviously, you're expecting the Broncos to be a better team this year, right? And actually, both teams are expecting to be good teams this year. But it's obviously not been that way, right? I wish they could do the flex scheduling. I know it's a little bit obviously difficult to do it for a Thursday game, but it'd be nice, if they could, somehow find a ways to, like you said, put those good teams on. And I'm fine with watching Mahomes 7 times a year on primetime. Sure.
All right, we're running out of time a little bit here, but Denver at LA, the Chargers, I think it's a get-right game, especially Denver, Russell Wilson being injured. That run defense has been good, but their running game has not been good. Dallas at Philly, the Sunday night game. We talked about Philly. They're a wagon looking great. Dallas, I don't expect to have Dak back. I think it's going to be another Cooper Rush game. Philly all the way, baby. They're looking great. $230 you can get tickets for at Lincoln Financial Field. And I expect the Philadelphia Eagles to be 6-0 at the end of this week. So good for them. All right, quick stats, and we'll get out of here. I know that Sam is looking great over there at Chickies and Pete's down in Philly. Just an absolute awesome place. We were there last year with Hockey on Tap. All right, Josh Allen leading the league in passing. 14 touchdowns. He's been awesome. Patrick Mahomes, 15 touchdowns. Those two are, my opinion, they're the two best for the MVP to date. Herbert's still a dark horse as an injury candidate. I mean, he's got 10 touchdowns. He's looked really good. And then I got to give it to him as well. Jalen Hurts. He's only got 4 passing touchdowns, but he's got a bunch of running. He's been awesome for Philadelphia. So he's definitely one of those guys that you look at and it's exciting to watch this kid. He really is that good. Nick Chubb rushing the ball. He's been phenomenal. Saquon, those two are the top 1-2 touchdowns. Chubb's got 7. He's killing everybody right now. There it is. The surprise to me, AJ, is Josh Jacobs. He's been toting the rock pretty good.
Yeah, right. That's one of those guys, right? That he's playing for a contract for another team, right? So yeah, I mean he's playing for a contract, and it looks like they're not going to be a Raider next year. So we'll see what happens.
Yep. Sam, we're just going through the Giants, obviously, Saquon, Eagles. We're just looking through some stats through the 5 games, seeing where we think an MVP status is. Who's your MVP of the, say, quarter to third mark?
All I suck.
Oh, good. We got some technical
difficulties.
Oh, let's see.
I got to start labeling my headset. Labeling headsets. This is probably the 5th time I screwed up with Bill Clement before on Game Day Live. So, all right.
Who's your NFL MVP? Give me your Giants. It's obviously Saquon. That's I think that's a pretty easy one. But who's your NFL MVP through the first 5 weeks? We were saying it's obviously between Saquon. I mean, obviously between Mahomes and Jalen Hurts and Josh Allen.
Definitely not Russell Wilson. I according to you guys before week 1, he was gonna rip it up.
Yeah, man.
But he's now hurt right now. I like Jalen Hurts, and I'll tell you the reason why. Because nobody expected him to be this good from day one.
Mm-hmm.
I think he is a leader, and I don't care about stats. I don't care about anything. I only care about wins. And who would ever thought that he would be the guy in Philly right now when he was drafted by them? So I'll give it to him. Plus, it goes with the Philadelphia theme here at Chickies and Pete's. So that's what I'm going to say.
Pandering to the crowd.
Yeah, everybody knows Saquon. Everyone knows Saquon's the best Penn Stater.
Yeah, I mean, I see. To me, I think it's Allen right now. I think he's just playing out of his mind, and he's at the better stats right now this season. I think he's a little bit more interceptions, but I mean, just the way the guy plays. It's close, but I think it's Allen this season.
Yeah, and Sarah's over here saying, "Let's go Jets." All right, AJ, trivia, and then we'll get out of here. Let Sam get back to his hockey days.
Doesn't sound like she's saying that. I think she's just already. Unless she thought you said, "Let's go Mets." Oh, okay.
All right. Well, so Taysom Hill obviously last week had a phenomenal week against the Seahawks. Scored 3 rushing touchdowns and had a passing touchdown. Also had 112 rushing yards. Hill became the 3rd NFL player in history with at least 100 rushing yards, 3 rushing touchdowns, and a passing touchdown in the same game. Who are the 2 other running backs to do this?
Did LT, LaDainian Tomlinson, do that?
LT did it in 2005 with the Chargers.
Okay. Is more a recent guy or not in a while does this happen?
More within the past
Brian Mitchell?
20 years.
I'm just making up stuff.
Within the last 20 years.
Yes.
Sean Alexander?
No. So I'll give you a hint. It was in the 2000s or 2010s area, and it was a AFC divisional rival of ours, Billy. That was the team.
Ronnie Brown?
Ronnie Brown, 2008 with the Dolphins.
Wow.
No, I mean, probably that was definitely one of the Wildcat days, so that makes sense.
Yeah. Wow.
All right, good one. Sam, looking great over there, man. Awesome setup. You are absolutely a beast. So, get that Devils going on over there, and we'll be watching here.
Yeah. We'll definitely have football primetime somewhere.
Absolutely.
Somewhere in the near future.
Yep.
Maybe at Chickies and Pete's. You never know.
Like it.
Hey.
You never know. You never know.
Make the trip.
All right. So should I hit the music? It probably should, right?
Yep. Let's do this.
I thought I was hitting it.
You want to outro it?
Why don't you outro? I can't. I don't know what's going on here, boys.
All right, folks. We appreciate you guys coming out and listening. Thanks to Sam out in Chicky Pete's, Philly. We will be back next week. We're trying to be back on Monday. That's what we'll do it for. And AJ, thank you. Sam, thank you. This is Football Primetime.